and welcome to another edition of The One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle. How are you doing today?
As an Eagles fan who just got done watching the Eagles win in overtime, thank goodness Jake Elliott is just the man. My blood pressure is finally coming down, and it's been quite the weekend. We still have the U2 tonight that I plan to watch, so I hopefully that won't be so stressful, but I'm doing okay. But you, the Dolphins fan, I'm guessing, are not as okay.
I
So
don't want to talk
he
about
doesn't
it.
want to talk about it. But yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, that was not good. As Jim Curtin said, yeah, not good. So that's all I'm going with that. And they move on. It's only week 4. So, but hey, we got a lot to discuss today, and we have a guest on.
Yes, we do.
Our good friend, whom we've met at the Sons of Bang tailgates. He is a fellow Section 136 member.
Yes, I am.
With several times, both in and out of the stadium. Volunteers at the Sons of Ben events, and a pro wrestling fan.
Yes.
Which every time I'm there, talk to him about pro wrestling, and all around great dude. So I'd like to welcome our guest, Rich Ransom. Rich, how you doing today?
What's up, guys? I also was watching the Eagles today. I was actually worried it was going to go past 5 o'clock. Past 5, so I was about to say to you, hold on, this game's still going.
You're fine.
Push us back like 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. With me watching that too, there was no way we were going to record if that was still going. But thankfully,
Yes,
Jake Elliott took care of it. So
now
yeah.
I'm looking for tickets for the the next home games actually against the Dolphins on Sunday night. So
I know I want to go to that too.
I'm debating to see what I can do for that one.
I actually want to go to it as well.
Yeah.
Just to go see that game. I mean, yeah, they lost today, but I think it's going to be a great game regardless.
Yeah, I know we have a swim meet that day earlier in Maryland, but hopefully we could get done in time. It's an 8:20 game, so yeah. Fingers crossed we can get something going on that.
Yeah.
So before we get started, what are we wearing today?
This is the first time I've worn this. So I got in the stadium a few weeks ago the Live Breathe Football navy blue T-shirt that has the snake on the front and it has that design on the back. I'm not going to turn on and show it. That'll be awkward. But so I haven't gotten to wear this yet, but it's a really nice quality T-shirt. And got my headband on, and I still have my Eagles earrings on. Go Birds. 4-0, baby.
And I'm wearing the Love is Love from the Sons of Ben tailgate tie-dye. I haven't worn this in a while. I thought I'd rock this today.
Yeah.
Rich, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing apparently the most controversial jersey this week. The
Sons
of Ben third jersey. So
love it.
This is the jersey I want to add to my collection. This is like one of my favorite jerseys.
I found this jersey on eBay about 3-4 years ago. Never wore to a game. This is like literally the second time I've worn it. So I missed out on the original run in 2012, 13, 14. And then, of course, like everybody, like you said, it's the eBay search, find it. Found it on eBay, found my size, bought it, triple digits, which let's just say that. And wore it once for the last day for happy hour. And that what it was like the last final day of the Union happy hour we used to do. So it was like wear black. It's the last one. And then this is actually the third time I'm wearing it ever. Because every time I want to wear to a game, it's always been we're playing someone who wears black, or we're playing a team who has bringing away fans. We should not be wearing something nice too, in case you want to have run into them. Yeah. So it's like haven't won it. Third time wearing the jersey. I don't know why people saying it's ugly. I hate it. I'm mad. I'm hearing that. It's funny. I was talking to somebody about this, like when they would say like, "Oh, it's an ugly jersey, it's bland, whatever." That was that was like I guess he said to me, "This is how you find out who's started following the Union." If you were when this jersey came out, it was during let's just call them the dark years of the Union, and then so that's when he wore it, and then now those of us that's been good to you coming in. So people have probably seen this jersey actually for the first time. So they didn't know about it. You can say you explain the history about them steal the original kit use Open Cup runs for the team for the original best steal and for the Union when they wore this. So okay, so it's like it's always been a you can find out how long they've been Union fans if they know what this jersey is and how desperate, like you said, how desperate you are to find it. Then you know how big and important this jersey is. I mean, granted, compared to say the third just came out, like Toronto's is this pink and blue Caribbean kit. New
I
York
love
City
that
came
one.
out the set. It's a nice kit. I won't.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Yeah.
The New York City came out the Central Park screen kit. What was the third kit? Was Elena's '90s kit, which is like a lot going on.
It
Which
is.
I like the theme of it. It's of '90s Elena hip hop, but it's just like it has ATL and UTD in like the worst place down the middle. It
Right.
just looks
It could have
horrible.
been better.
Yeah. So I mean, and of course, you look and see like Seattle's away kits, the Bruce Lee Dragon. Portland has the Pink Roses. The Union's away kits. It's not the Lightning kit. It's the shit's camo kit. It's a camo kit. Let's be honest, but
Right.
so and we see third kit Union best one ever. Steel's go. This is it. It doesn't look like anything, but it's like, dude, you got to know the moment for this kit came out how important this was. So
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was definitely a hot topic this week.
It
and
was
various
it was.
things on social media and on podcasts and things. And you know, yeah.
There was a lot of hot takes on
Yeah, there
that.
was.
There was some where I was like, really? Like,
Yeah.
you don't know anything about this kit. And then they brought in the Lightning Blue kit. I'm like, that's like another classic,
yeah.
Union kit too. And it's like, all right, yeah.
Like I could tell some of you have not seen the gold kit, and it shows.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us. And please interact. We love hearing from you always. We're on Twitter at TOTWAG, Facebook and Instagram at the One Team We Agree On, and then on Apple, Spotify, Google, and on YouTube as well. So please like and share. Rich, let's get into it. How'd you become a fan of the Philadelphia Union?
Soccer fan first, it's always flashes. Like I remember the '94 World Cup. I was probably like, well, I would have been 10 then. So I remember seeing that when I was little, and then growing up seeing different games on TV. Like I remember Champions League on ESPN when I got home from school, and then I think my pinpoint was full on the '98 World Cup. I was full in on Brazil and Ronaldo and Valdo and all those guys, and I was like, at that point I was like, I'm in. I'm all in on this. This. I mean, I'm still a fan of the other four majors, but soccer, that was my thing. And of course, around that time, what was it? I remember MLS was coming in around that time too, so they was showing up on ESPN. But still, soccer first of everything. Manchester. I'm a Manchester United supporter, so I was always watching their games. And then finally, well, I should preface like many other Union fans who don't want to admit it now, but admitted it then. Growing up, Comcast, CN8, Comcast Network, you show DC United games. So I would still watch those DC United games growing up. And then once the Union showed up, it was like, this is my new favorite thing in the world here. Went to Union games, 2010. Went to like one game in 2010. It was one of the Link games. It was the second one against Dallas, I believe. 2011 went to about 3 of those, and then 2012 I got the season tickets. It was on again, off again season ticket wise, but I was still going, still following. Fully back in 2018 when everything kind of set up straight. I thought actually more 2017, but I've been a Union fan since the beginning. I love this team. Contrary to popular belief of whoever tells you differently, I love this team more than anything else. I want them to win. I live and die this team. It's everything. It is everything to me in a way.
I agree. I think we share similar sentiments. I remember in '94, and I've said this before, when that MLS 1.0 came out and following DC, because I was living in New York at the time, so they were playing DC United games, and it was awesome. But, lo and behold, we kind of found the Union. I knew about the Union in 2010. We kind of followed from a distance casually, and then we went to our very first game. We were hooked. So this team means the world to us.
Especially because it's local. You're so used to European there.
Yep.
Exactly.
And then even with MLS, and you say, oh, New York was only, say, 90 minutes away to go to Meadowlands to watch the Metro Stars / Red Bulls. It's only 3 hours away to go to DC United. I mean, granted, you can just do those drives easily, but it's here now. It's 40. Well, for me, it's about 35 minutes away, but it's here. It's local. It's now in my backyard, and I'm all in on this, and that's the best thing about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And for me, it was easy, just like the fact that, I'm all in on Philly, all the Philly teams, and so, I went from being 4 for 4 to being 5 for 5. I mean, easy transition, but, so, there's been a lot of
6 for 6. We'll always count the wings, no matter what. Always count the wings.
Yes. I know very little about lacrosse, but yes, I will root for them too. I've seen them a few times on NBC Philly, whatever.
Yeah,
but
we need to get to one of those games.
yeah, I mean, it'd be fun. So there's been a lot of good and bad, with the Union. Can you name your 3 favorite Union moments?
3 favorite Union moments. Okay. I want to go in order of excitement, but let me see. First one, I think, Jesus. Oh, 2011, Red Bull away. That was the big Union bought, as Sons of Ben bought like 5 buses to Red Bull Arena, like 800 fans. I think that's at the time that was the most they've gone.
Sick.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Granted, I think they still lost that game, unfortunately, but it was still like, this was like peak height expansion Union moments of like everyone's all in, and that's when we went to it's a rivalry game. Of course, Red Bull fans still say it's not a rivalry, but it is. Let's be honest. And then that was actually my first big major Union. Oh my god, heart moment. Number 2. What's my second one? I think maybe last year's East Conference final. Because that was after that game I kept saying to everyone, this isn't 2014 anymore. This was like 2015. Those dark ages Unions. The Union have now made it Cup final. When it was like bad, they were losing. That was it. My favorite Union was actually the 2018. Is it 18 or 19? 2019 Atlanta match at home. That's actually my second time capoing ever. But that game was like, they beat the defending champions coming from behind. And this is when that was my official the Union a good moment now. They had made the playoffs 2 years before. We took the defending champions, MLS Darling. We took it to them. And it's funny because after that game, we went to Larimer, and there was some Atlanta fans there, and they were going, that was the hardest we played all year. Because it was at that point to them still, well, they were also down on the team, but they were going, it felt easy to them to play these games. That was the first way, oh, someone's coming at us. We need to step ourselves up. And that game was that was my favorite Union moment.
Yeah, fun fact about that game. That was actually the first game we went to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. So, and after that, we were hooked. Yeah, I mean, seeing them, not in person, but yeah, that was the first time we went to. So, it was pretty incredible.
It was the very first game together we went to, and it was more than I could expect. And I'm just sitting here going, wow, this is awesome. We were going to come back, and then we did. We came right back for LAFC, and then that's how everything started. And then
we were at the playoff win and all that.
And then 2020 happened. We were going to get season tickets, and 2020 was 2020. And then we finally decided to bump it to 2021, and then we were hooked.
Yep.
Oh,
So, what would be your 3 moments that left you heartbroken by this team? What were the toughest ones?
Jeez. What was the 3? I know I have one that I reply back all the time. We talked about it, so I can just use the moments. God, what was the guy's name? He ran out of bounds with the ball. Andrew Wenger.
Right, used to babysit. Yep.
Andrew ran out of bounds. That was one. That was oh my god, horrible. Well, actually, no, that I have a bigger one than that. I guess last year's Cup final. Like, they could have won that one. I think they could have won that one. LA turned it up. You give at least some sort of credit for that one, but it was like they were that close. Mine is the David Villa goal. My number one though is the David Villa goal from halfway on national TV. They at home, Villa chips it 55 yards over Andre Blake. I think that was like 2018, maybe.
Mhm.
And even though there was a slide going for a while, that was my we're never coming out of this moment. Is Villa just chipped over Andre Blake, and I was like, God, we're just never. That was my we're bad. we're
Yeah.
bad. We're bad. But that was my low moment. But we got out of it.
We
Look
did.
at
Yes,
us.
we did.
Look at us. Look at New York City now.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, gosh, sometimes you just gotta suffer, you know. It's like the same thing like with the Phillies, for instance. Man, they had some dark ages there for a while,
Yeah.
but now it's fun again. Thank
Now
God.
it's fun again, and the Warriors did not have the dark ages soon because parody, MLS parody, the cycle has to turn at some point. But
Correct.
we
It's
don't
just how it goes.
want it to turn now.
No, no, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
no. That's for sure. Rich, in your opinion, what makes the Union special from other teams in Philadelphia? And when I ask that, I talk about like the culture, the fans. For us, it's a family environment. You know, we got to meet you, but we've also met other awesome individuals. But what makes it special to you?
It's the fans. It is the fans. It
Mhm.
is everything. Well, you can even use the whole league in general in its own way. You shouldn't say it's like a bubble, but
Mhm.
it's the fan bubble that comes in out of it. Well, I'm not saying it's a close, but you know what I mean. Of you go there, you're welcoming. They'll best examples any away fan who comes over.
Mhm.
Like you think, oh, it's gonna be like they say, oh, we're coming to Philadelphia. Oh, they're like Eagles fans down there. Like, no, we're not like Eagles fans. We'll mess with you for like a hot second, and then we'll say, come hang out with us. And then even if you're not coming over, he's like, I'm a Union fan. I want to just hang with the Sons of Ben, KSU, whoever supporter group. Just come over and hang out. We're open to you hanging out with us. Just you have to come over and say hi first. We'll say hi to
Right.
you.
Mhm.
I'm tired of being like, no one talked to me. Did you talk to anyone else? Like,
Right.
but you come over and say hi. Like, we literally just, I think you guys walked over to me, and I said, hey, what's up? How you doing? And I walked over to basically Jeff Mitchell. I walked over to this guy. I walked over to this person. They talk to you. They get you out of your shell. They you find the common ground. That is this team, and you find common ground in other stuff. It's a great. It is the fan culture. It is. It was what makes this team great. And then you see the team on the field that just trumpets everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, how do you think the union can continue to grow within the city of Philadelphia? And I'm not just talking about winning, because we know winning trumps everything. You know, if team's hot, people are going to follow. What do you think? How else can the union grab this city's attention? And I think you know what I mean. I'm talking about the people that don't like MLS, but will follow the Premier League and all those other people. But even just also the casual soccer person, somebody's never been.
Well, it's time to make some people mad with my message here.
Uh,
Okay, we got to move to the link. I'm sorry to say, we got to move to the link. I'm still seeing people going, Chester's too far. I'm still seeing people going. Actually, people go, I'm afraid to go to Chester. Which is dumb, even worse to say.
right.
There's no translation to Chester. I winning is number one. If you win, people will come. That's number one. You're gonna have to go to the link at some point. Granted, like I said, there's a circle of the parity of how the MLS works. Right now, an 18,500 seat stadium, which I normally run to 1,900, is too small. And I guess we can expand.
Right.
But and that's true. We can expand. We can build the decks on top of the big size. We can do that. And of course, the worry is if we same with the expansion of this chest of Subaru Park. I still call it PPL for goodness sakes. of Subaru Park, and if we go to Link, you start losing. We drop fans. I understand,
Mhm.
but moving to the Link, you'll get more people to simply say, because a lot of what MLS is now, as much as it's trying to track soccer fans, it's just trying to track people in general. It's easy to just simply say, hey, the soccer where Lincoln Financial Field. Oh, we'll go there. Train, parking. I know to get there because that's where the lot is. That's where to go. I know that, and understand. Yes, the fan base is a little still too small. it's funny that I think the running joke of Flyers fans is always you can fit the entire Flyers fan base at Wells Fargo on a Wednesday night against the Penguins.
Mhm.
I I'm gonna make some people mad, but says I think that's the Union still a little bit,
Mhm.
but I think moving to the link is at least a good idea option. It's not may not be the best, but to grow the team with it, yes, you have to win. 99.9% of it is winning. I said
Right.
those dark ages. I'm sure you read stuff about strife and the Sons of Man fan base or whatever. It was a lot of it was because those dark ages, the team brought nothing to cheer for. And so it's 100%. I 100% agree to that. Once we're winning now, once it's going now, I have people who come to me at work. Oh, yo, Saka, I've heard about this Union thing. Where do I go? You gotta go to Chester. How do I get there? Oh, this, you gotta take 205 and then 95 and this and that. It's just no. Just go to the link. It's there. I'm a proponent of it. I know a lot of people aren't. I think it is. I'm not saying it's a silver bullet, but I think it's a good number one-ish idea of what could grow the Union, fan base wise.
And again, there's no that, and that's why I love asking that question, because you get so many different answers.
Mhm.
And this is the first time I've actually heard it. I mean, I've heard people talk about it, on social media, but do you think it's just something maybe getting the Union, like, let's say not necessarily linked, but getting like a stadium built there in that complex, like you said, so it's kind of just they're
Well,
centrally located.
well, Union people remember fans will remember who I shouldn't call them day one. It sounds like gatekeeping, but
Yeah.
it came down to that little spot where Xfinity Live is. It was
Mhm.
either going to be a Union Stadium or Xfinity Live, but Comcast owns the grounds, so they went, "This is Xfinity Live," because they
Okay.
took it from like other stadiums. Like the Patriots Place has one, the Braves have one, all that fun little bar area stuff. That's what was originally supposed to be the Union spot. Of course, it was talking about Camden. The spot was talking about even the number one spot. For those remember, was Glassboro, which is going to be,
Yep.
which is even weirder when you think about
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah,
think
it's like the Rowan spot or something.
yeah, it's a
like
Rowan spot. Yeah,
Yep.
it's like if people complain about going to Chester, God, Glassboro's farther for me. It's farther for me to get to Glassboro than it is to
It
Chester,
is.
and I live in New Jersey, which is even worse. I think the link is a good-ish idea. Yes, and yes, you can use examples of Seattle, Atlanta, Vancouver, who do fit their football stadiums well, and then you could toss it back with New England, Chicago, which apparently Chicago gets like 30,000 people, which is surprising for how
Mhm.
bad they are. But of Chicago, New England, who play in football stadiums, and it does not do well. The
Mhm.
sound doesn't travel, all those things. I think it's easier as a just a point and shoot look to just go there, enjoy it, and you will. But and there's no denying the specialist that is Chester, but bringing of just simply the casual fan, that works. The already soccer fan, you offered me an idea on a run sheet that we might discuss about that. I might bring those guys in, but the casual fan, point and shoot, Lincoln Financial Field, right there, go there, and that's a thing. And if we do continue to grow by winning, that might help. It's not a silver bullet idea. It's not the best idea. It's a good idea, I guess, depending on
Mhm.
how you look at it. So,
No, that's no, that's interesting, because again, like, you ask people this all the time. How can the Union continue to grow? And if you're centrally located, yeah, maybe that is one of the silver bullets, like you said, of just more easier to get to Chester. It is, than getting to Chester. I mean, I get that. I get that point.
Yeah, for us, actually, selfishly, it's actually easier
Yeah,
for us to get to Chester being
that
in southern end of Lancaster County, but
yeah,
yeah.
I know, and I understand. Like I used like for me, it's like 95, but every time I go 95 traffic,
right.
295, it's easier, but it's just dead road. The
Mhm.
entire time it's
Yeah.
boring. It's exciting, and I don't mean, and selfishly, it's a little bit closer for me to get to the link than it is to
Right.
get into Chester. But I'm a firm believer of also this is what also is, and they fit the MLS edict of what they wanted in these stadiums. They wanted downtown stadiums. They want bars. They want something close where people can take public transportation. That's why I was actually kind of a proponent for Yankee Stadium for a while, because it's like, look, this is exactly what MLS wants. But it's not. It's an idea. I will understand everyone who tells me it's not a great idea. And in fact, I have people who would tell me stop saying it because it annoys them. But yeah, so you know. But always win. Number one, win. No matter what happens, win first.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Winning does cure everything.
Yes. It certainly helps. So what do you think people should know about the Sons of Ben and what makes the supporter group special?
We are all welcoming. And I won't go through the politics of what I've been seeing lately of people going, it's not welcoming or whatever about the chance, but it's just come in. Just we're welcoming, we'll talk to you. You will find somebody to talk to there. It's not a closed VIP section where no one talks to anybody. I mean, yes, there's slow clicks who've kind of made our thing, but you will find somebody. Somebody will come to you and say, "What's up? How you doing? Have fun with us." And that's always been a thing. It's always been the great thing, especially through social media. You find different people. Like I found my clique doing the Union Happy Hour. Well, also through Twitter first, then through the Union Happy Hours. I think I found you guys through Twitter, X, through Twitter, and then found out like, oh, you sit right from me, even better. And then two other people, Twitter, then in person, and then you find lifelong friends from that. Because Sons of Ben are not looking to lock anybody out. They want you to come in and hang out with us, and that's been important. That's always been a thing. And then that's been the number one thing. Just come over and talk and hang out with us. I'm not the most front going person most time, but like it helped out for me. So just come on out, guys. Come to the tailgate. Except this Wednesday's BYOB. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
It is. But even those are fun because I find like those, it's just like people are hanging out and just chatting and it's real laid back. Whereas on like the main ones on the weekends, it's like you're trying to get around to talk to everybody. Where
those are a little hectic. I will agree.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. We always joke that like we bring our chairs and then we don't sit in them at all.
Yeah.
We're just walking around talking to like everybody.
So. And there's many chances I like I'm gonna book a chair this time, and I never get to it, and then I end up standing anyway because my entire group's standing anyway.
Right.
But if you notice, I'm now hanging behind the Justin's beer tent, sitting on the coolest now. So now I have a seat. So now I have a seat now, apparently.
So I want to ask you this because you and I talked about this at a game this year. I believe it was CCL. It was right after one of the games or shortly after that. I think it was LAFC during that first leg of that. And you said to me, you go, Kyle, these guys are tired. We're tired. Some people are going to say 2023 hasn't gone as planned. Personally, I still say there's time. We'll see how it all plays out at the end. But in your opinion, what do you think about this season? A, is it too long? B, what do you think about the team's performance? I mean, and C, where do they go from here?
It's in a way of all the above. Right. I kind of felt beginning of the year, my worry was Jim Kern's tactics may have been figured out. I was worried about that. Like, I think the LAFC CCL match, I kind of was worried, like, oh my God, Jim has ran out of ideas. I was worried about that part for a second because he looked lost. They zoomed on his face, and Jim had that blank look at his face. I was like, oh my God, Jim's lost. Jim doesn't know what to do here. So I think it was that. Plus, also they were going through major game, and that was hurting them. And then now it's been major game. In amounts and intensity, these guys are not tired. Columbus, they showed it last night. They are tired, and they know they're tired, and you're making them continually play major games for seeding. They are tired. They are done. They have international break coming up, and unfortunately, 5 guys I think are going to that. So they're going to be tired again. Those guys, and those are the most important guys. they're going again. They're tired out. They've tired out. I'm not sold as much as I used to be on Jim being found out as it was once.
Mhm.
I think it's just everyone may have gotten better than them a little bit. That's because that could have been it. They're just tired. I forget which game it was, but they just look like they were like, we're just trying to get out of here. There was no sense of, I should say, they weren't trying to win, but they were like, we just gotta get to the break. I think it was the game before the last. I think it was the New York City game before they were going on international break.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
It was the international or leagues cup, one of the two, and they were just like, we got to get out of here. We just need time. Yeah, it was the international break. They're going to Gold Cup, I think, of that.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here. We're tired. We want to rest. I think Jim said they were all going to be off for 2 days of practices. It didn't look great. I think they tied still that game, but they were just, we're tired from this. We're tired, and we got to play these. They were just gone, and now it's like, here they are. They're still tired. They went all the way to do the entire length Leagues Cup because their third place game was on the same day as the final. So they played the entire length Leagues Cup, and then I think only had 5 days off from that, and went to another Wednesday game. They're tired, and of course, what happens? They get another Wednesday game. And they have another Saturday game, and they're off for 2 weeks for the international break, and they have the 21st. They're fighting on the 21st. But I think playoffs are going to be 10 days right after that.
Mm-hmm.
They're exhausted. They are. They're just simply straight up exhausted.
Yeah.
So they're looking for breaks. I think for them, we just gotta get out of here. Again, it's back to, we just have to get out of here. And of course, coming up is like, hey, by the way, these next 2 games are for playoff seeding for home games. So get have fun with those. They can't help that. They can't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, like, you look at the rotation. I mean, between them being tired and the injuries. I mean, we saw that starting lineup come out last night. A lot of people.
I said
Oh
that. I
my
was like,
God.
I did not expect a rotation on a Saturday game.
I didn't either against
Wow.
that. And,
Yeah.
and the joke among some people was, well, drink them if you got them. But
Yeah. I think a lot
Yeah.
of Union fans got pretty blasted last night.
yeah.
Yeah, how's everyone feeling today, on Sunday? That's been the joke. But yeah, we're like, oh, okay, we've got Donovan and Sullivan. I mean, honestly though, I've really liked Quinn Sullivan.
I thought he played well. I thought Donovan played
Yeah.
well.
Yes, I mean, at
Yeah.
least we've seen some positives come out of that, like some guys getting to shine. Jesus Bueno's really had a chance to step up.
But let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
Rich, this past week, they had a game Wednesday, obviously against Dallas, and then last night's game. They have 5 draws right now.
Yeah.
Against really good competition. So for me personally, like last night, that was a game when you saw that lineup, at least for me anyway. And you had mentioned that it was like, oh no, against the hottest team in MLS, you're going to roll out. And Jim's plan was, let's get to half, run all our top guys and all our forwards on them with tired legs.
Yeah.
And it almost worked
Yeah,
out.
but when the lineup came out, Kyle was like, and I quote, "Oh God, we're gonna get like scored on. It's
Yeah.
gonna be like 6-0."
That's
That's how he was.
Joking.
He was joking, of
I
course.
was joking, but I saw what Jim was doing. But we've seen Jim likes to get cute at times.
Yeah.
But you got
Thus my Jim has gotten thus my Jim has lost moment. I said.
Yeah. It's so like the injuries obviously played a factor in it. I mean, I think we can all say that. But I mean, are you encouraged at least right now, as tired as they are, that at least we're not getting defeated? Now, granted, like Cincinnati, we should have won. Dallas on Wednesday, that felt like a loss because we had some opportunities there. What was it, 19 shots?
And we could have won last night, but again, also Andre Blake saved our butts like so many times. It could have gone the other way very easily.
That was the game.
I believe. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I believe in the World Cup qualifying theory: win at home, draw on the road.
Right.
Always get points, no matter what. Always get points. Draws they're not fine, especially how you get them. I guess I'm mad. Well, I should say, because I always believe in wins and wins, no matter how you get them. But get the points, get the home field at least for the first round, for that stupid 3-round series, which I have no idea why they're doing. But
I don't either.
yeah, I mean, I know why. Apple money. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
get the first, stay up in, I believe it's like top 4, stay in the top 4, and luckily the next 2 games are at home, so I can understand like when I'm, like I said, it was an A lineup on against Dallas at home. Columbus, just get the draw on the road, fly back. Wednesday, Saturdays are at all home. Get those wins there. We can beat Atlanta. Atlanta's not great on the road. We can beat Nashville. Nashville's they play up to who they're playing, and then international break. Get those wins, and then we play New England, and we don't know how New England is still, but because they're going through their little turmoil. There's up and down depending on how they play.
Right.
Just get through these games, get points no matter what. Get the home playoff, and then hopefully we get a goodish opponent to play against. I think we might. I think I see this team playing third, which I think that means we might play maybe Columbus. Maybe
we
could
either
play.
I think right now we're fourth. We're fourth right now.
We're fourth at the moment. Yeah.
Well,
So
fourth is we would play Columbus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this team could do third. I think this team can make third. So we'll play the 6th team, which currently would be Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, and of course, I think their schedule is actually tougher looking. I think remember looking at, so that means we could play Nashville. So I think they can make at least a good playoff first round.
Right.
You know, I kind of think that would be a little tough first round for them. So they just got to keep getting points. And like I said, I think they could win the last 3.
Oh yeah.
They can win the last 3. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they just keep their heads, because a lot of these draws are off bad mistakes. That's on, that has to be on them.
Mm-hmm.
And just get through these games, get to the playoffs, figure it out. Just get to where you need to be.
And I think that's a silver lining. I think all along it's just get to the playoffs with all these games, and then let's see the chip stack. And if the defense is starting to, play better, like last night, it was a firing squad on Andre, but at least they kind of kept him off the sheet outside that PK. So that was encouraging.
I mean, Andre was great. And I mean, I thought Damian Lowe's doing a great job. And, Jack Elliott, aside from the chicken wing handball thing, that sucked, but like they've been stepping it up. Well, I guess we lose Kai for Wednesday, so that sucks. But next man up. So
next man up, and
and Harriel, how good was Harriel though last night?
He's been playing good.
That was
too.
really good.
So
that's good too.
Yeah. So moving on though. So Kyle knows more about this than I do, but how did the I-95 Cup become a thing, and do you think it should be an actual cup?
Oh, the longest story ever. It was an idea made up in 2011 or 12, because it was when I was doing fully back. Once the union came out, I went full on deep dive MLS, and that was when Portland and Vancouver and Seattle all came around at the same time, and the famous Cascadia Cup they have. So I was like, oh, well, they have something. We can have something. Northeast teams. And I made a whole story when I used to do something for Brotherly Game. And I was like, hey, make it a real thing. Do this. Let's make it. And I made the now famous I-95 quarter cup page on Facebook. Because I wanted like a group page to say, let's make it a thing. Here's the thing. Let's do it. And I had sent it to the Suns leadership at the time of saying, can you talk to the other supporter groups to make it a thing? And a lot of the quick story of why it's not a real thing was because the other members of the other supporter groups of Red Bull, New York City, DC, not kind of New England has New England supporters who have been in it all way. They've always been on it. In fact, they still ask me, why isn't it still a thing? But New York, DC, and both New York teams and DC have said Union's not a rival. Why would we have a rivalry with you guys? Like I remember one story at the last time I actually kept trying for about a couple years, and in fact, the last time finally got it in depth from Sons of Band president at the time, Kenny Hansen, rest in peace, Kenny. He said, I tried to get an ISC. I'll tell you straight up, New England, in, always in. Red Bull would tell Red Bull, they say Union's not a rival, but if DC's in, we're in. DC will go, but New England's not a rival. But if these teams in, we're in. New York City will go, well, DC and Union are not a rival. We don't care, so we don't want to be part of it. So it never got past that point. They can't have a real thing if not everyone's involved. Funny enough, I did post it as a there's a little petty shot on Twitter. When they announced they showed the trophy for the two New York Derbies, that Statue of Liberty trophy. I pretty said, this is why, for those who ask why there's no I-95 Cup's not a real thing. It's like they said they'd rather do it themselves. So even though I do have New York fans who tell me, Red Bull supporters who tell me, we don't know where their Atlantic Cup is with DC United. Like the Atlantic Cup is apparently in some team storage, I'm told, somewhere. So
wow,
they rather care about that thing, that trophy, than this I-95 thing that could do a whole bigger idea. I always kept the score anyway because I just was like, just keep score anyway, see what happens, and I just kept keeping the score, and it normally was whoever's just doing better that year would win it. Unions won it. I've had over the years, everyone's won it. The two main questions I always get still are, one, why isn't it a real thing? I just explained it. And two is, why isn't Miami in it? Like Miami's on 95. I go, so on that same Facebook page, I did do a vote. I said, okay, look, it's not. So here's the option: bring Miami in, or keep it as is, and we change the names. I actually looked at it the other day because you guys talked about what we discussed about. I found the vote thing, and a lot of the answers were C, keep it as is, keep the name, keep the coded things, and of course the other answer was it doesn't matter, it's not a real thing. So it's I kept score. I might slowly move away from it because it's like, look, I think it's not a real thing. Why am I keeping a score?
Yeah.
But that's why. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
good. Yeah, I keep it up to you. My bad. So that's why it's a thing. I know people now. It's always been, it's a thing. They see someone, I guess, retweets it, then someone else retweets it, and then so it's always when someone wins something, and they will go. I say, this team's now won it. Go like last year, New England won. We got another trophy along with a shield, or New York City. Well, we won this, and then so of course, but that's kind of what it is. It's just a Northeast little comp tournament I made up, and it's not a real thing apparently.
And it's a great story, and I do think that's one thing MLS needs more is like these regional like fun supporter trophies. I think that could bring again more passion to some of these rivalries. Like even like you said, when we play New England, like we're playing for the I-95 Cup. Yeah, maybe it's not true team rivalry, but still
it adds a fun element to it.
Fun element. That's something to talk about.
It's always fun now. Fun when I do talk to people. Like the most fun has actually been what did make the trophy. It always ends up being just some traffic cone. It comes back down to some traffic cones. Whenever I see a picture of traffic cone, I take a picture and send it and post like, here's an I-95 Cup trophy on this highway here. So I do. And it's been that, and it could be a real thing. I think back then the Union may not have the cachet it has now. Like I talked to much nicer leadership members of the different groups. They could probably be more into it. I don't think they will be, but according to some, still not a rivalry. I know Rebel fans still say the Union are not their rivals, but yet they bring 3 busloads to our stadium every game. So I don't know. So, but
exactly,
it's just a thing idea popped up, and it's still a little fun to kind of keep score. So we won it with. I tried to wait till the end, but I had it down. So okay, Union won it this year. The Union did win it with about 3 games left of the I-95 games to go. I think famously 2020, it came down to New England and DC on the final game day. Not the Union, New England, on the final game day to who would win it. I think New England won it last year. I do remember this. Last year, New England won it. Some of the people were actually DMing me going, "Where's the trophy? How do we get the trophy for this? How do we?" I was like, "It's not real. It's not a
Is
real
that a real
trophy.
thing?
Like, if you want it real, here's ask these people, and we'll make it a thing. Like I can get you a cone and FedEx it to you, I guess, if you want it. It's not real." So.
All right, now we're gonna get to the hard-hitting question. First off, let's talk pro rail real quick, because I first off, was Ted in your comments on Friday like clockwork?
He was not. I'm making a in real life Twitter. I try to like I don't block people. I feel like it's not Twitter's not real life. So why would I bother blocking people?
Yeah.
But out of nowhere, like this past spring, some guy was talking about something about pro rail. Some guy named Scott. I blocked him too. Because whenever you post something, Ted just randomly went, "That's a fake account. That's Rich Ransom." I'm like, how? How is that me? It was out of nowhere. Oh God, I said his name too, so now he will be my mentions now. Anyway, because I have been known to go at him way for years. And like people bring up the famous Applebee's story, which is hilarious. If anyone has that, I happily send you those links. Where it's just basically Applebee's, the actual Applebee's restaurant, hates Ted and clowned him on Twitter. It's hilarious. There's a story. Yeah, I'll send those. Maybe I'll post a picture again on Facebook, on Twitter about it. But he kind of just died down, and I never said anything to him for like I think maybe like 6 months, because I would just go, "Said Ted, you're this operative, let's just say," and then out of nowhere he just was like, he said, "That guy Scott's not real. It's Rich Ransom. It's a bot account run by Rich Ransom." And I just was like, "How is that a bot account?"
What?
And then of course his minions got in my mentions, and I was like, "This isn't real. This is not real. What are we doing right now? Talk about this." So the crazy part was it was everyone you guys have met at tailgates was standing up for me, and he would just go, "They're not real. They're not real. They're bots. They're not real." I'm like, "There's pictures with them and me." And anyway, the real part of it was every day at clockwork at 6 o'clock on a Friday, he would just come into my mentions and say, "I'm not real." So yeah, so that was the more weirder part. I was like, he thinks I'm this account, and it's on clockwork. He says this. That was the more weirder part. And then he has the same things. I think in like a month to me, same thing. Guy said something, and he said him again. Oh, like reverse transfer. He likes wrestling, so it's fake like MLS. I'm like, so I blocked him. I blocked him. I reported him. I would never do that normally, but I just did it anyways. But so, what's your question about pro rail?
Where you stand on it? Because I'll tell you where I stand. My stance is, I think for MLS, for where they are now, from where they came from at 1.0, it cannot work right now. There's just too many things. My other thing is kind of selfish. We know with number one, I don't think we have. I shouldn't say we don't have enough teams, but I don't think the infrastructure in American soccer is built yet like it is from hundreds and like 100 years ago. I mean, some of these teams in other leagues have been around since the 1800s. The soccer infrastructure in America is not there yet. Will eventually? Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying I'm anti, but what I'm saying is these people are like banging the table like, this is why American soccer is not good. I don't necessarily think it's pro rel is why American soccer is not MLS. MLS has been around since 1996, I believe. Like right around then. They haven't been around since the 1800s. There's history there. There's things have worked and failed at those teams. American soccer plus football. We're going to compete against football. Is soccer ever in America going to beat football? Probably not.
I always go off. Well, okay. For the record, for anyone all the people who care, Do I support promotion relegation in American soccer? Yes, I do. I do not think that I don't like. I will say, like you said, as of this moment, it cannot handle it. And of course, then we'll go. Well, just knock it all down, start it again now. Like it's the silver bullet. They always go like I say. It's 6:06 on October 1st, 2023. If we have promotion relegation for the start of the 2024 year, then we will win the World Cup in 2026. That's how they think promotion relegation will work. We'll just automatically be well. Like it's not work. It won't work like that.
Yeah.
It's going to take entire infrastructure to tear down and build up. And if we want to do promotion relegation, fine. And yes, that includes the owners of MLS who paid the billions of dollars to get in, and the USL owners who played millions. It goes up and down to get these players who you say could be better. And that's a whole nother thing. These players still don't want to be here. They want to go to Europe. So it's a whole thing with that. Promotion relegation to work in America and the seeds of we now finally want to do promotion relegation, that would be like 2050. Let's
Yeah.
at the earliest. My new worry is what they always say, and what they say about Major League Soccer. The regular season doesn't matter. No one's watching this. There's no, I guess, fear. I guess it's the correct wording of it. I looks like I froze. Oh no, yeah, I froze. I don't know, I froze. We sat through the process with the Sixers. Was anyone going to those games as fans? Was anyone going to like these? Like you talked about the down year Phillies.
Yeah.
Was anyone going to those down? Was a hard? Not people go, but was anyone? Was that they feeling it was no. We talked about earlier about getting casual fans, soccer and non-soccer fans to go to Major League Soccer games. How do you convince someone, hey, come with me to soccer tonight? Oh, where we're going to watch the Union. Well, are they good? Not really. And the fighting to not go down to another league. And I'm sorry to say to that also to those people. I know there's no, as you say, there's no such thing as minor league soccer, but there's minor leagues in America. And unfortunately, to explain to people, you had to explain the bare minimum of the going down the league. That's sort of the idea of going to AAA baseball. And yes, according to baseball, that's called minor league. You have to explain it that way to them.
Right.
And they'll just go, well, the team is bad and they could go down. Why would I want to go see this then? You can't go, well, they're going to fight to survive. Well, that's not a good explanation to them, because remember, the team is still bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it could still lose. And you say to them, there's people I bring to Union games to still go like, and the draw's like, you brought me to this, a 0-0, but they're in second place. But nothing happened. There's nothing exciting here. And you're going to try to explain to the same fans, hey, come to this game. This team's not great, and they're trying to fight to not go down a league, and they need your support to not go. Like, you can't do it.
Right.
Like, they always, like, I'm tired of always people talk about the Premier League and the relegation about the Premier League. That's the best part about soccer. I'm like, why don't I watch 17th and 18th teams play to not lose? Like, that's not exciting to me. I'd rather watch the top six. Yes, even though that's Man City, Arsenal, and the millions and billions of dollars, I'd rather watch that than watch Everton and Burnley fight for relegation. That's not exciting to me. And it was like, oh, but no, it's just fighting for survival. They're still hard, but still not looking good though to me. Like, I want to watch these two bad teams play to not lose, to not win, to fighting to not lose. I don't want to watch that.
Right.
You got to find the American fan something exciting about. It's exciting to those fans in Europe to watch Pro because it's their team. They're all in. They know what it means to survive. It's American soccer here. We still we're winning. The Philadelphia Union winning, and people still don't want to come to this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want them to come when they're losing? So, like, that's my feel of Pro. The fans still may not want to watch whatever this is you're saying of the drama is what brings it in, and that's all. And I guess that's a whole other thing. Because always people, whenever those go Pro, they always talk about Pro promotion. They never talk the relegation part.
Right.
They never talk about well, like, you got to get these Pro because these teams in these lower divisions need to promote to the top league. They're like, well, what about these teams that are leaving. Like
Yep.
it is, and like the owners will straight up say, I don't want no part of this. Go, well, that's just billionaire owners who will put an owner who cares. Like we have owners who quote unquote care, and they don't and they don't show it.
Well,
So yeah,
and to your point, I mean, there's a reason like Barcelona, well, now Barcelona was doing it for other reasons financially because they're
yeah,
bankrupt, but there's super teams out there in the Power Five leagues that are going, hey, we don't really even want pro rel. You know,
yeah.
they want to start their own thing. So that I kind of piggyback off your point. They don't mention that as well, or if they do, it's always like, well, it's a money thing. Well, yes, there is a lot of financial incentive with these teams. If they were to get relegated, they would lose a lot of money. So again, not everybody wants it, even in Europe. So this whole fantasy to them thinking that everybody in Europe loves it, it's simply not true.
I mean, it's all I can understand during the Super League of fans who are going, "This is bad. This is not great. This
Right.
is not great." Owners getting money, 100%. I understood it.
Yeah, yeah,
But like Everton, this team has always been in the top division. I mean, not always, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
Always been in the top division, is now close to the bottom or at the bottom. And they always go, well, we owners who say they put money in. This is Everton Football Club in Liverpool, one of the top teams, no well-known teams of Europe, and their owners going, I'm putting no more money into this. Like, come
Yeah.
on. And we'll talk about, so when they go, we always talk about owners in America who go like, oh, they don't care, they don't care. You have a guy who just says, I don't want to even save this. I don't want to save this thing in England.
Right.
That's known. Like this is the club of Paul McCartney and it's Paul McCartney's family who said, I don't want to care about this. Take it off my hands. I don't want it. Like, come on.
Wow. Yeah, no, and it's not just that. I mean, you look at Serie A, there are owners in Serie A that are the same way. They don't put money into their clubs at the bottom, and then they'll just go down to Serie B, and
Yeah.
they'll just be there, and then they'll come back up, go back down, go up, back down. It's
I mean,
it's wild.
I mean, thus the American soccer story, of course, America's team which is now Wrexham. They're everyone's favorite team now because Ryan and Rob, they're gonna bring it up. They're gonna bring them to the top. But they even said, I think I just watched the last episode, and the
Right.
other guy, Humphrey, was like, dude, we have to make it in 4 years. If we don't do promotion, then it's 4 years, we're out. We gotta make it. We gotta make at least to the championship in this timeline. And if we don't, we're out. It's too much. We're wasting so much money on this.
Right.
That we can't. I think he said we can't stay in one league more than 2 years.
Right.
We have to go up. Of course, now they're playing in the show, dude, and I've always seen already. They were playing a show of a team who's like, we were just a team of guys, and now we're in the top division, of non-league. They go, see, it can happen. Like, yeah, but that's 20 years of wait here. 20 years waiting. It's his money, and what if he just said, I'm down, I'm out? Like, you got to have someone who wants to be it, and
Right.
yeah. So MLS is fine. I'll end with my little MLS is fine thing. I always say, every year when MLS starts, because there's always the same people they always go, MLS is going to die today. MLS is going to die because of their money, whatever. And I always go because the pyramid scheme. MLS is going to die today. Every opening day, I always say, welcome to the 29th year, 28th year of Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
I say, welcome to the 20th year of Major League Soccer, where contrary to popular belief, rumors of his demise has been greatly exaggerated.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right, last question. So, I'm gonna do just a little fun thing. Since you're a big pro wrestling fan as myself, I want to get your opinion on your favorite wrestler per each decade, and we're gonna start in the 1980s. So I'm going to go down through and I want you to kind of give me your favorite wrestler. You don't have to go into necessarily exactly, why, but you can. But let's start off with 1980. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Okay, 1980. I was born in 84, so it means I had to watch everything on YouTube and DVDs. So I went through a WCW NWA wormhole of the Four Horsemen. So it was a lot of Flair's matches and Arn Anderson promos. So I guess I'm throwing the Horsemen as a group as my favorite wrestler from the 80s.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, you talk to Jim Cornette. Corny loves the Four Horsemen. Although,
Yes.
according to Cornette, Midnight Express were the greatest tag team of all time. Still, the greatest
There's
tag team.
They had a match. It was Tully and Arn versus the Midnight Express, and
Right.
Arn was king. To me, Arn was the best promo in the NWA in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
He had one of those fiery Arn promos about the Midnight Express before the matches of telling them, do not come to us. We do not come to us with the Four Horsemen. And Arn just killed it. And then they ended up winning the Express, winning the match, I think, at Great American Bash, I think it was. So
no, I think I growing up was a big Midnight Express fan, but I was even a bigger Rockers fan for whatever reason. And Demolition was my tag team. Like it was like Midnight Express, Rockers, and Demolition. Those were like my tag teams. But I guess individual wrestler, it's always going to be Hogan, just because like you know I was a kid growing up, and like he was larger than life, and it was cool. But if you ask me now, like 44-year-old me, Flair did more with less, because I mean WCW didn't have the money that WWE did, in my opinion, and you know Flair was the GOAT of the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no opinion on wrestling whatsoever, but I'm also 84, by the way.
Yeah, there you go.
84, and all I remember hearing about was Hulk Hogan, and that's all I knew about wrestling when I was little then. And
Hogan was the man then, but of course I'm also in the category of bleep Hulk Hogan now because of Hogan's issues. Just call him that. So as much as like technically Hogan was the best guy, I just kind of look at everything with like a glass eye now. Like
right. All right. What about the 90s?
90s. I guess I'll put them in 2000s more. So I gotta go to 90s. I guess Shawn and Razor, probably. That was also then height of WWF, then the split of WCW and Nitro and Raw. I was a Nitro guy. I picked Nitro over Raw, which is good or bad. But I think my first WrestleMania that I watched was WrestleMania 10. And from that match, of course, was the ladder match of WrestleMania 10 of Razor and Shawn to unify the Intercontinental belts. And there was a DVD. I had a DVD. I gotta find it. I might have to go on eBay again because they had a promo from Superstars where Shawn came back from his suspension / injury, and he came back with the belts, and he had the belt. He said, "I'm the real Intercontinental champion." Took it out. It said, "No real man or Chico is the champion but me." And then Razor came out, and then he had a whole thing and that's when it led to the match, and it was a great match. So I guess those two.
Oh, it still was. It's an all-time classic. For me, it's always going to be The Undertaker. I mean, I'm a huge Taker fan, and like I started following him then. I mean, for me, I'll tell you, even my 2000s still going to be Taker. 1990 and 2000 was Taker for me. I mean, that's it. I loved NWO. I loved the whole NWO thing, but that was my thing. So
Taker was dope. Taker was so dope. I mean, think about it. Like, I mean, the older I got, it became like, I need technique in the matches and how the holds were and everything. But Taker, that Dead Man Taker was really good. You can't deny that.
Yeah. What about 2000 for you?
Triple H.
That's a good one.
Triple H was my guy. So of all time, I should have would go Rock, but I think overtime it was Triple H. I was a DX mark, even though I said I watched WCW and NWO. I was a big DX guy.
Nice.
And Triple H came in, and I did love Triple H, but he even when he was bad, he was good. I think during the late 2000s when he was then booking and he booked himself to win all the time. And it's funny. I think 2017. I think at that point he had not wrestled as much. He was now doing the gimmick of where the authority. I'm the COO. He was COO.
Yeah.
It was, I think, WrestleMania 31 maybe or 30. It was the one that went back to New Orleans, and it was him and Stephanie versus Ronda and Kurt Angle. And it was Triple H had not wrestled that much, but they were coming back for that match, and it was still the Motorhead of time to play the game. And I was like, I didn't think I was supposed to no matter what happens, I think the minute I hear time to play the game, I think I'm still gonna pop no matter what happens. So he's my guy. Triple H was my guy. I
Nice.
think all time he's my guy. So I
So
didn't grow up through the lineup of Hogan and Andre and Warrior. I just saw them, knew the end of the careers. Well, I mean, granted, I watched Hogan,
right.
WCW, and all stuff, but like Hunter S. Helmsley, the Blue Blood, to DX, the Degenerate, to the man he is, and then the businessman is still, and he's still, well, he can't wrestle now. Now he's officially retired. He had a heart issue, but that was my guy.
Nice. And then let's talk about 2010 to now. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Who's that? Do I pick an indie guy? Do I pick a man? No, I don't know if I pick.
I have an indie guy for you coming up after this. So
I'm trying to think. 2010, maybe AJ? No, was it AJ? Because 2010 was still the 2000 guys still going. Because Triple H was still going then too, and then Rock was still kind of show up. Austin was still kind of show up. Hogan still showed up, unfortunately.
Yeah, dude, that was never good.
Yeah, I guess Punk. You know.
Yeah, that's where I am. I love
Punk.
Yeah, it was Punk for me.
Because I was full on indies at that point, and then Punk went to WWE, and I was in on Punk. I mean, this last issue though, I think Punk was wrong, but I think I think Punk though, of WWF and TNA, and I guess if TNA became maybe AJ of TNA at the time, and then but I was also, like I said, I was also full on indies, so I had a bunch of indie guys I was watching then too. So,
all right, so who's your favorite indie guy currently?
Currently got Joe Janela. He's my guy. I'm full on Joey. I watched CZW before came through there. He was doing all these crazy matches then. Not as many death matches. Now he does a lot. Well, he still doesn't do that many, but he does when he has to. But Joey's my indie guy. Currently, I think so. I mean, if you cut AEW is not the indies, but yeah, Joey Janela. That's my guy.
I mean, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be kind of biased here. I'm gonna go with my boy Tim Donst. Or Bro Keller. But no, in all seriousness, if I'm gonna like look at like just because they do great, both of those guys are awesome. But if we're like talking like GCW, like all those, I still love Nick Gage.
Tim wrestled Joey at a car show as that once.
yes, I remember that. I've seen the video. But no, I'm a big Nick Gage guy. I do love what Matt's doing, having left like WWE and now coming down to like GCW, and what he's done with his how he's kind of retransformed himself. Yeah, I really like his character right now. It's awesome.
I was a Nick Gage fan. Those early CZWs of like 04, 05. They won GTW 48. And I used to watch Gage all this time, CZW Fake UTV. And then I kind of fell off CZW a little bit because he had the lots of TV stuff, and then internet wasn't that big then. It was till 2005, and then I found Ring of Honor, and then Ring of Honor was in the middle of a promotional war with CZW, and I'm like, oh, CZW's still around. That's when I rediscovered Gage again, and then Gage was going through his issues, but Gage was still the man. He robbed the bank that was actually a mile from my house, which was hilarious. Wow. That bank was a mile from my house, which I was at that morning too. So, which is so hilarious. I was like, and I saw his support. I was like, when? I was just so, and then he came back for GCW. Told every time I see him, tell him every time, dude, you're the man. I watched you when I was like a senior in high school. I love you to death. So he's like, oh man, cool man, thanks man, you're the man. I love you, man. So
all right. Well, Rich, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. This was an awesome show. We had such a fun time talking with you. This might be your most controversial show ever. I talked about wrestling, Union moving to the link, and the Bethlehem Steel jersey, and Pro Rel. So, hey, like Eric Bischoff said, controversy creates cash. But yes, obviously we're not making any money off of this. But controversy is always a good thing. But anyway, that's all for today's episode of the One Team We Agree On.
Yeah, and we actually have episode 50 coming up. Yes. Yeah, this was episode 49. I can't believe we're that far into it. So stay tuned for that, because we're trying to schedule somebody for that show, and we'll see if it hopefully that'll pan out. Hopefully it'll pan. By Zoe.
and by Zoe.
But yeah, we're trying to put something together for that. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. We love hearing from you. And if you have any ideas for on future episodes or guests, please send them our way.
And until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
And we'll see you at the game.